saw this image on uh, Facebook, and I guess the assumption, because I don't know the full story, but the assumption is a woman decided to dress her children up as Topsy and Bobsy from Lovecraft story, or Lovecraft Country, and I'm going to say that aside from everything I want to talk about, I thought the costume looked nice, whatever, right? They did a nice, she did a nice homemade version of what those characters were. Uh, Now, to the meat of it is that it also brings controversy. And why it brings controversy is because these are depiction of what, the dumb slaves, And so a lot of people found it offensive. I'm not really here to judge, more so here to talk about why it could be considered offensive, and then probably come up with a conclusion on my end. Um, so, just a little history, right? The characters of Topsy um, is basically it comes from a book, Uncle Tom's Character Cabin. It was actually a book in support of abolitionists trying to eradicate slavery. The funny irony is that it had a lot of racist tropes of what black people were then. So, so the character Topsy in particular, she was depicted as this mischievous, evil, sneaky, dumb, like everything, And I guess the idea was that at this time that they had this white savior kind of moment of, oh well, Topsy was a slave who was bought and given to the the head woman of the house to be worked on to be transformed into a good Christian woman, and Topsy's friend was the woman's daughter. I believe the woman's daughter was Eva, and Eva was the total opposite, right? If Topsy was the evil, dark, and whatever, Eva was this beautiful young girl with flowing blonde hair who, was the perfect, you know, everything and the light and the purity and all that stuff like that. And she became friends with Topsy, and upon her death, she gave Topsy a lock of her hair and said, let this purify you. And Topsy became purified and became a model citizen, a good Christian girl at the end, right? White savior complex. I guess the reason why we're talking about this is because with Lovecraft Country took that and they flipped it. They took the characters and they turned them into horror elements, right? Without giving spoilers, there's basically essentially a curse, and in this curse, those characters appeared, and they are what the person who put the curse, who so happens to be a white man, I guess their depictions or of what it is to be uh, black. You know what I mean? And so the singing, the dances, the shucking and driving, jiving aspect of it is all there, saying that this is you know horrifying. Horrifying to black people. This is just a horrifying depiction of black people, period. And they turn them into actual monsters. So, when we come to the current situation, what I just saw, which is the picture of Topsy and Bobsy, I see, I can see on two ends of the spectrum. I can see why people would find it offensive, and you know, why people might find it as an interesting costume, especially for Halloween. And like I said, I'm gonna draw my own conclusion, but um, if you're gonna be upset at this, then shouldn't you be just as upset when people dressed up as pimps which is depicted as, usually African Americans who, pimped out African American women in the same way. We've done that in cinema over the years, right? We've done many films and we glorified it, and you see people dress up that way all the time, and you don't really see people get offended. Now, I'm not saying people don't get offended, but it's like mainstream. You can literally walk down the street to a costume shop and you will always find a pimp outfit. But should be just as offensive, right? Because even in the style of it, it's depicted from an African American angle. You know what I mean? I mean, can you find a white pimp costume? Okay, what's the difference between a white pimp and a black pimp? I guess the point is, right, you know, if you want to take offense to something like that, maybe we should start taking offense to all the things that depict us like this, you know. And once again, I'm not giving defense of anything. I'm just saying that, you know, I get why you're offended. You should be offended. You should find something like that offensive. This is not what we need. And I'm not talking about Lovecraft country has nothing to do with this. I'm talking about seeing African Americans depicted as slaves. That's not what we need right now. And I think that's what it comes down to. We don't need to see that. Not anymore. Like, we've seen it enough. You know, we had a whole year in which we've seen ourselves degrade. And when I say degraded, we watch ourselves being killed literally in the middle of the streets. In a year where we're trying to say we are equal to everyone else, I don't think it's in good form to dress up as racist tropes. I'm not going to criticize any parent, I'm not going to criticize the parents of those two treated children. I get it. I get what you're trying to do. I'm just saying maybe you should think about the fact that it's a nice character to watch on TV, but not to dress up kids as, or for you as an adult to dress up as. And that's the scariest part, right? Because Halloween's coming up, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of people dressing up as Topsy and Bobsy.